Hi everybody. Hello. Welcome to Talk Shop, my Talk Shop Live. I am not going to pretend to be a particular expert in this medium. I hear it's very hip. A lot of hip, cool people have done it. But hey, I like talking. I like shopping, and I like living. I like being live. So here we are. I'm already seeing people in the comments. Hello. Matilda, Allison, Sophia, Luca, Taylor, Pal, Emmy, all of you. Hello, welcome. Thanks for being here. So what product am I hawking? What snake oil am I bandying about town? Well, if you haven't heard by now, I made a holiday album. That's right. Made a little holiday album because my last name is Criss, and come hell or high water, at some point in my life, I was gonna make an album called Very Darren Crissmas. People ask why that title, and I ask what other options were there. There were several. There were a lot of runners-up with all kinds of amalgams of the word, combinations of the word Criss in them. But this album is very me. What can I say? From the album cover itself to the songs that I chose, to the way that I produced the songs and the way that I formulated the songs together, it is a very, very me thing. It's a very deep, personal extension of my own experience with Christmas and the holidays, and I really wanted to have as much of that on this album to be shared with you as possible. Yeah, that's why it's a Very Darren Crissmas, because it is very me. But it's also kind of a nod to a little show that some of you might know called A Very Potter Musical. So I tend to have a thing sort of unconsciously about a very noun or adjective noun. Oh wait, can people not hear anything? They can't see me? They can't see me or see my face? What? Hold on. This is crazy pants. People can't hear me? I just went off on this whole thing.
They can hear you.
Okay, but you guys can hear me. I'm telling you guys, in this day and age, no, can't hear me. Everyone's saying they can't hear me or anything. I mean, I am streaming from LTE on my phone, which is the most typical thing. If you can hear me, I spent hours today trying to use the internet. Hours. Tried to use the internet in this hotel room I'm in.
Hey, you write in the comments that you'll be right back.
All right. If anyone can hear this,
We're going to end and start it over. Hey, Marty. Hi.
all right. So I'm gonna end the show.
Yes.
Can people hear me? Are we good? One way to find out. I have no idea when I cut out, but it was like one of those phone calls where you got into a really good part of the story and you really started talking and you realized that, no one heard what you said. So that's what happened. And also, go figure, I spent all day trying to get the internet set with a hardwire Ethernet cable, the adapters, you name it, only to have to rely on a phone, to tether a phone using that internet. Also, go figure that I have a laptop that is an impressive piece of machinery, but this has the better camera and the better ability. Anyway, one of the joys of the 21st century. Hi, everybody. I don't know where I cut off, but thank you for joining me. I was, what was I saying? I was saying stuff about being here on Talk Shop, how I'm happy to be here. I like talking, I like shopping, and I like being live. I think that was my opening line. I'll try and remember all the things that I said, which was we're here to talk about a holiday album that I made called A Very Darren Crissmas. And the title of that album is, a cheeky pun using my last name. There's a variety of ways I could have used that, the last name Criss in an album title, but Very Darren Crissmas was appropriate because every angle of this album, from the selection of songs to who I had on it, to how I recorded it, to how I arranged the songs, to how I wrote the songs, to how I wanted them to sound and feel, were very much an extension of my own personal connection to the holidays and to Christmas. And I wanted to extend that and to share that with people as much as I could. So it is a very me experience. And I think people who know me certainly will recognize this when they listen to it. And people who don't know me will get a nice little frosted Christmas window into my life and my experience with the holidays. It's also kind of a nod to a show that some of you may know called The Very Potter Musical. So I kind of have this thing about a very adjective noun thing. So that's why we're there. Even from the album title itself, from the album sleeve itself, it's just a whole lot of me. There's modern me going like, geez, you believe these wacky knuckleheads? And then there's my mom. I mean, these are all based on real life pictures. That's my mom, there's my dad, there's my brother, and there's a smaller version of me. I don't think we ever grew up with these onesies actually, but my mom actually does hang out at Christmas time with this, singing songs, and my dad usually just sits chuffed to bits, just enjoying himself, watching his family be wacky. And this was shot in my house, but I tried to recreate a version of my living room that I grew up in San Francisco. And for the people out there that may have ever visited this home, you'll see the resemblance. There's also like actual home photos here there's my mom and dad, there's me and my brother as kids, and kind of a little family photo. So this is a very me thing, and I tend to keep things very close to the chest. I'm self-proclaimed, I'm not proud of this, but I'm a bit of a sentiment hoarder. I don't mean to, but I don't tend to like put a lot of my personal things out there. But the holidays were a really appropriate time to do that, and there's a lot of really wonderful things to be shared from my own experience that I wanted to, put out in the world, and to honor my own experience with the holidays by sharing them. So that's the sentimental stuff. Let's get to selling shit. Am I right? Let's make some money, right? At some point, a guy's got to work. So we have we have several signed vinyls. Here's a little movie magic. Guys, this actually isn't a vinyl. It's all bullshit. It's a piece of cardboard. It's not real. It's fucking Hollywood. No way, man. We don't have the real things. You know why? Because those only go to you. I don't even get them. I get the cardboard. If I put this on a record player, I'll break it. I'll break the record player. And I don't want to do that. I'll have to go on TalkShop and buy a record player from, I don't know, Matthew McConaughey or something. So, this is what the album sleeve looks like. But the actual album, if I had a copy, it's a really beautiful kind of collector's thing, because there's a beautiful, there's more photography from the shoot that we did, where I play all the versions of my family with all the liner notes. I wrote a pretty extensive essay in my liner notes, because I was that kid growing up that would actually read liner notes. I don't know if you guys do that, or some of you kids even know what the fuck liner notes are, but they include words and thoughts and meditations by the artist. And that's what I included with some thank yous and stuff like that. And you can also look up the names of some of the arrangers and musicians and songwriters that contributed to this album, and give them some due credit, and maybe look up their own work separate from this album. But so this doesn't really do it justice, but I promise you, it's a beautiful kind of full thing where you open it. There's an in sleeve, and it's a hoot and a half. Okay, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. But guess what? That shit is $45. $45. That's a steal when you think of the longevity of how often you can use this thing. I mean, Christmas is, as far as I know, guaranteed to happen for the rest of history. If things go okay. So $45 for a signed vinyl, and yes, I signed every goddamn one. I have the video proof to hold up in court if you think that it's somebody else, or that I just have a stamp. It's me. This hand, the same hands that are playing the guitar and playing the piano and recording stuff on this album, is the same hand that signed all of the vinyl. So that's your $45. If you happen to be more of I guess you can call it retro now, but if you want to move it up a few decades and want to move around my neck of the woods, to the 90s. If you prefer a compact disc, which is abbreviated to a CD, we have those too. They're about I don't know, a quarter of the size of this. They also have some cool art and stuff in them. With liner notes and stuff, but it goes back to an age that I think we've lost a bit of touch with, but I think inevitably will come back, which is having the physical copy of a thing, which is kind of fun because it makes for a great gift. And yeah, so there's the signed CD, and that's for $30. Now this whole time you guys have been sending all kinds of comments and stuff, and I have blatantly been not seeing them because you're much faster than my eye can catch. But I appreciate everyone's enthusiasm where they're saying we already bought it. But here's the deal, guys. I'm not just doing this for you. I'm doing this for you, your family members, for your friends, for people that you can now mentally copy this sort of tirade I'm going on the value of these things, both personally and literally financial value of how much they cost. So you can recount this information to other people and behoove them to perhaps purchase this album. A question that I'm seeing is, did I wear a Santa hat while singing? Why the fuck would I do that? What does that accomplish? I'm kidding. I'm being funny. I'm trying to be cheeky. You know, I'm kidding. I don't know if it didn't occur to me, but maybe had I done that, maybe the songs would have sounded better. So maybe that's a horrible oversight on my behalf. I should have. I don't know. Maybe my head would have gotten too hot. Also, I'm wearing headphones, so there's a lot of cranial accessories that may have complicated the recording process. But that's a great question. And, you know, my cheeky answer is just that. It's being cheeky. I'm trying to make you laugh, not trying to put you down. What else we got? You want physical media and digital, says somebody whose name's already gone by. But I feel you. It's crazy. I think I own almost every Beatles album on audio cassette, CD, like re-release CD and digital. I own all these albums 6 ways from Sunday, and still when I'm in the car driving somewhere and I don't have an internet connection, I can't listen to my fucking album. So it's what? You just can't win. But I'm glad that I own them because I support the artists that are the Beatles, because God knows they need the financial contributions. Stop cussing my mama right next to me. Peyton S. You know what? I'm not going to apologize to you, Peyton, but I am going to apologize to your mama. I do apologize. But what can I say? I have a bit of a potty mouth, but it comes from love and trying to disarm people that might think that I'm overly serious. It's a device, and I hope it's not a crutch. I do it to try and sound a little more familial to people. Where did I record this album? There's a question that's coming up. I don't know if we have any friends in Nashville, Tennessee out there, but I recorded this in Nashville, which you might go, why Nashville, Tennessee? There's a variety of reasons. First of all, it's Music City. And I have a storied history, which you can read about in the liner notes with an individual named Ron Fair. If you don't know who Ron Fair is, I would Google him and your mind will slowly just implode or explode. I don't know which one, but you will be pretty impressed by his resume. He's worked on so many massive records, and we met more than a decade ago when I was just kind of starting my foray into the music world right before Glee happened. And we have always wanted to make music together, and we've done things in the past, but nothing as fully formed as what would be this album. And we're both big fans of older records, and this is something that really behooved both of our skill sets. Again, I talk about this in the liner notes, but Ron Fair is a very, very talented guy, and I was really lucky to have him on this. He's worked on a lot of other Christmas albums as well. He just did Dina Menzel's Christmas record. But a ton of great songs. And he lives in Nashville, and it's a great place. We've got great musicians, and it's a place where you can make things sound a lot bigger. That would be much, much, much more expensive, frankly, to make in other places. So we tried to give, the 1950s Hollywood orchestral sound to 2021 Nashville, and I think we did a pretty good job. And that's all Ron Fair. So Nashville, Tennessee is where we made it. Choosing songs for this is because people are saying, "How did you choose the songs for this album?" Was really, really hard. I'm of the belief that human beings love options, but we hate deciding. And when I say that, I mean me. I think a lot of people would probably agree with me, though. I am such an avid lover of so many holiday songs, and I've always wanted to make this album ever since I was a kid. So I've kept a list for most of my life of the songs that I would do. So finally, when I got to it this past year, I had to make cuts. I need to make a lot of cuts. So this is only phase one. I don't know if this will be. I hope this isn't the only time I do this. We'll see how well this does. Tell your friends, tell your family. Spread the word. Because there's a lot more music that I would like to do, but I had to triage out the ones that I could survive on not having on this first one. So the ones that I chose were the ones that, again, were very and uniquely me. You have to have a prerequisite amount of songs that are songs that people know and are familiar with. I mean, if I had my way, I would make a full album of songs you never heard before. But you got to throw people a bone. Because it's polite, frankly. It's like you want to hear songs that you know, and then use that as a sort of gateway drug to hopefully some of the other songs that you might not know. And so I really leaned heavily on songs that I knew people would not know, that I have a personal relationship, namely on songs that aren't even Christmas songs per se. Here's a little fact that might blow your mind. Jingle Bells was written in, I forget, it's definitely, like, it's either early 19th century or late 19th century or early 20th century. It's like, it's an old song, but there's not one mention of Christmas, and it's not a Christmas song. I believe it originated as a Thanksgiving song, and it's kind of a winter song, but now that melody in that song is the most recognizably connected song to Christmas. So it's about things that feel like Christmas, and I wanted to standardize songs in a way that made you think, oh, this has been here all along. There's a song from a musical called Fanny with a song called Welcome Home. No mention of Christmas, but I tried to make it feel like a Vince Guaraldi trio song, which feels like the holiday time. And it's a song about coming home, which is absolutely about, connected to the holidays. Young people coming back from college, people going back to their hometowns to see loved ones. I mean, coming home is part of the holiday spirit. So I put that on there. There's a John Mayer tune that I've always loved called St. Patrick's Day. I'm like, why would you put a song called St. Patrick's Day? You'll see when you hear the song, but the song is about falling in love in the wintertime and wanting to hold on to it through the holidays and to get to St. Patrick's Day, to get through this winter love. And it's a very beautiful, love song that is contextualized by the holidays. And then there's a song called All Those Christmas Cliches by Flaherty and Ahrens, who are wonderful musical theater writers. If you know Anastasia, if you know Seussical, if you know Once on This Island, I mean, legend status. And I took a song of theirs, this kind of slower cabaret song, and turned into a more swinging, jazz song that sounds like, oh, this must be a cover of like a Bobby Darin song. It's like, no, anyway, I'm going off on why I chose these songs because they really are important to me. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, where do I know this song from? And the answer is, I really don't know where else you would know it from. But they're from my life and songs that I've loved and wanted to do my own little thing. So there are some cool people on this album. It's not just me, guys. Not just me and Ron Fair and a bunch of great Nashville musicians. We have some features that are pretty special. I called some friends to do some duets with me. One of those is this guy. I don't know if you guys know him. I think he was on a singing show, and he now sings with some band called Queen. Adam Lambert. He's okay. I'm kidding. Adam effing Lambert. Sorry, Peyton. The great Adam Lambert, who we also we did Glee together, and he's an extraordinary singer. And I wanted to do a duet. If you guys are familiar with the films of Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, the sort of like cheeky duets between the lads. I wanted to do a version of that for a song that isn't done as a duet. And one of my favorite holiday songs is "Everybody's Waiting for the Man with the Bag." This is a song that's done a bit, not as much though, and I think it's a great jazz singer's song. If any of you musicians out there know, what chromatics are, it's a lot of semitonal. It's very jazz. And it's a great venue for a great jazz singer like Adam Lambert, who's mainly singing pop and rock these days. And he was so thrilled. He's like, I don't get to do this jazz stuff anymore. So we arranged a really cool, harmony. Harmonized rendition of that song, and I love it, and I'm so pleased that he said yes when I asked him if he would be on it, because his pedigree is really appropriate for the arrangement that we did. I also called another friend of mine who lives in and out of Nashville, who's been a great pal in a lot of different places in my life, because she's a wonderful actress, she's a comedian, she's very funny, she's a beautiful voice, great singer, she's a rock and roller. She can really do it all. And I've always admired her for this. But Evan Rachel Wood joins me on Somewhere in My Memory, which is a tune from Home Alone. So for, she and I are millennials. We grew up on that movie, so that song has a special place in our heart. And I was like, Evan, I want you to go full like diva operatic, go full I don't know, center stage, I don't know, like David Foster shit. If that makes any sense to you guys. I want Celine, give me Susan Boyle. I don't know. I have to appreciate that combo, but that's a pretty wacky combo. So she lends her beautiful voice to that song as a duet. And last but certainly not least, I wrote a song on this album called Drunk on Christmas. And that's kind of an ode to my time in Nashville. Because, you have access to the country, zeitgeist when you're there. And Lainey was a friend of Ron Fair's, and he suggested her, and we got on like a house on fire. And she is just USDA certified prime country singing, man. I was really lucky to have her, and having her around really gave the song a degree of authenticity that I don't think I would have had without her. But that song is written in honor of the great 1950s country hits, a lot of those great duets, namely the Johnny and June duets. And my fantasy was what if Dean Martin and Dolly Parton had done a crossover duet in the 60s, 70s. If that had happened, this is kind of that song that I would have wanted it to be. So it's a great little tune about, giving something to yourself after hopefully having given a lot to others, and just, taking the edge off and just loving the holidays so much that you're just getting drunk on Christmas. So that's one with Lainey, and that's one of the original tunes on the album. I'm going to look through some of these. Let me go. You guys are asking questions too fast, but I see people are excited about these guests, as am I. Let me see here. This is this album, right? This isn't the. Yeah, this is okay. I wasn't sure if there's anything else that I'm missing. People are asking so many questions, and I keep seeing the same people. Thank you for just adding to all of this. Well, I don't know what to say. Somebody made a good point here that Evan is a Disney queen. That she is. Someone says they named their dog after me. Well, I hope I don't shit everywhere. I hope I'm very clean and I don't smell too bad. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about your dog. I meant me in general. I just hope when I wake up in the morning, I hope I don't shit everywhere and smell when I go outside. But I'm touched that your dog's name is also Darren, or is it Chris? I don't know. That's lovely. What a lovely thing. I'm sure your dog is just cute as a button. Eggnog or mulled wine to accompany the album? What a good question. I know eggnog seems to be very divisive. People either love eggnog or just fucking hate it. I myself am agnostic. I'm down with whatever people have. I think a good cocktail is a good cocktail. So it's just about having good eggnog, because you can screw it up pretty easily. So I guess just just because maybe wine might sound a little more easy to ingest, not literally ingest, but just as an idea. I think mulled wine probably, but I love both. I really do. I tend to stay away from the creamy things, so I'll say the mulled wine. I do, and I love that smell, But hey, no disrespect to eggnog, just it's tough. It's tough to get a really good eggnog. I encourage all of you if you're like, no, I can make a good eggnog, and then I would love to experience it. How did my mom and my brother react to their covers? They loved it. I think I had them sign off on it because I wanted to make sure there was a real authenticity there. So I tried to choose faces, countenances, there's your SAT word, expressions that were similar to ones that they would make, because I really didn't want to look like me. I wanted to look like them. See, Paige, you know what I'm saying. She loves eggnog. Yeah, I feel you. What else we got? Yeah, so I answered that question. What else can I talk about? I don't know. Can we be expecting some Christmas TikToks? Yeah, I gotta get on my shit. I mean, I imagine Christmas time is coming up, and TikTok is fun. Favorite Christmas memory? God, there's so many. It's hard because I would have had to have thought of them before this little live talk shop. I'll tell you a holiday memory that isn't necessarily Christmas, but it's like right at the beginning of the holidays. It's like a Thanksgiving memory, but it has to do with like gathering for the holidays. There was a point where my brother was on tour and I was traveling somewhere, and through a series of circumstances, we all couldn't be home for Thanksgiving. So we just decided to pick an arbitrary date in like early November to have Thanksgiving. And it was one of my favorite Thanksgivings ever for a couple reasons. One, there wasn't like a rush at the at the supermarket, and it was still autumnal. It was still November, so they were starting to sell stuff. So it wasn't like we couldn't find a lot of the items, like pumpkin shit was around. You know, like you could find stuff for it's not like we had it in July, but it was close enough to Thanksgiving, and you know, when you sit down, you have the turkey and you have your family. It doesn't fucking matter what day it is on the calendar. We were just sitting there going like, this is amazing. Like, this is Thanksgiving. And by the time that day actually rolled around and we were just off doing our own thing, I was like, I'm good. Like we were together, we were thankful, and it was a beautiful example of, you know, holidays and special moments are what you make of them, and it's defined by who you're with and how you celebrate them, which can be whatever you and whenever you really want. So that was really lovely, and it was a really nice reminder of how special those moments can be if given the right perspective. And I think actually on that Thanksgiving, I ended up getting like Chinese food with my friends in Hollywood. It was awesome. I don't know. Any music videos coming? Certainly hope so. I shot one. So I hope it comes out. So there's that answer. Hi, I just joined. Boy, Amy, you missed a whole lot. She's asked me if there's any special collaborations on the album. I'll let you guys answer that for her. What's the best Christmas gift I've ever given? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not going to say I'm a bad gift giver, because I do love giving gifts, and I'd like to think that I'm a thoughtful enough person to where my gifts are hopefully of good memory to people. But I don't know. Oh, man, this is tough. Like I forget. I'm kind of diverting the question, but I was that guy that would always, like, my brother and I would go off like to the Stonestown Galleria Mall in San Francisco. Shout out to the Bay Area. Like always, like 2 days before, going fuck, shit. Like we gotta get a gift. Sorry, I just blew it again. Peyton's mom. I'm sorry. It's just back to but that's what was going through my head, because I was really, really, you know, stressed that I didn't get gifts. But I think I pull it together. I'll think of a really great gift after the fact. Maybe I'll talk about it later, but I can't think. I think just in general, getting gifts done. What was nice, you know, I grew up, my immediate family is very small. To me, Christmas was for the most part, even though we did have family with us, you know, every few years, and when I was a lot smaller, in my sort of early adult life, teenage, sort of adolescence, formative years, Christmas was mainly just my brother, my dad, and my mom. That was it. So this keeps gifts very small. We're also we weren't like a big gift family. Like, we don't really care if we get gifts. We give gifts because we love and we loved and do love each other. But this alleviated a lot of the stress. You know, once your family gets bigger, you know, there's other people, and you get older, and there's, you know, there's more people to think about. And I go, oh man, so I have to get better at getting more gifts from more people because I've been conditioned to keep it kind of small and tight. So I don't know how that answers what's the best gift I've ever given, but I think just by nature of me getting it done at all with everything else that I do, getting a gift at all is like, hey, be thankful for this thing that I did because I don't know. It's a miracle that I pulled it. It was a Christmas miracle that I got gifts at all, that I even wrote a card. So that's all I got for now. Someone just asked favorite place in Vegas. A lot, actually. But I've always wanted to do Christmas Vegas. I will say this. I just read an article about doing holidays in Vegas and how this doesn't occur to anybody to do because you're like, why would I go to Las Vegas? And they gave all the reasons why you should do that. A lot of them were financial and made a lot of sense. But I was sort of tickled by that. I was like, I wonder what situation I'd be to do Christmas in Vegas. Anyway, enough about Vegas. More about my Christmas album. I think I've given all the information. I'm just going to do a little recap. I mean, look, I have some signed vinyls with this lovely album cover. For those of you that are joining us, this is not actually the vinyl. It's a lie. It's a piece of cardboard. It's a prop. But you can use your imagination. I signed all the vinyls, and I have all of the signed CDs I signed myself. Some are more smeary than others because I would do it really fast. And so if you see a smear on it and you're like, why does this look bad? Know that it looks special because it's unique in that I was really excited that it got its own special little smear. That makes it real. Ain't no stamp. That's a real live. That's real ink, real human hands. So that's me talking a whole lot of shop about this album. I talked about who's going to be on it, who I made it with, why it's called the Very Darren Crissmas album, why it means so much to me, and why I'm so happy to finally to get to share it with you guys. I'm going to try and catch some last minute questions. Very important question. When do you hang up your tree? Whenever I can. It kind of varies every year. It depends if I'm home or not. I'm usually traveling a lot around that time of year, so I don't always get to do it as soon as I would like. What's one thing that never fails to get me in the holiday spirit? That's a great question. Because people, especially while working on this album, like, what's your favorite holiday song? As if there's like 4. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's so many. And then on top of all the songs, you're talking about like per famous song, there's like hundreds of different versions. So something that I realized, because I started working on this last Christmas until now, is that you can kind of sing about anything, as long as you have sleigh bells. It helps if you have tubular bells, ding, dong, dong, like the church bells, but the tubular bells. It's good to have tight harmony, choral harmonies that you wouldn't ordinarily have on bigger pop records. The more sophisticated, the better. If you want an example, listen to anything by the Hi-Los in the 1950s or Manhattan Transfer. Harmonies are really Christmassy and holiday-y. And then if you make an album, you got to have a song that uses that sort of, 60s Motown Phil Spector groove. Dun, 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 dun. If you have one of those, presto changeo alakazam, instant Christmas. If you have a combination of any one of those things, Christmas. I could sing about, like, I don't know, sandwiches are in the fridge. It does. And if you don't speak English, you'll be like, I love Christmas. Because sleigh bells, tubular bells, bells in harmony, man, it is Christmas time. So luckily for you, I didn't sing about sandwiches in the fridge. I sung about actual Christmas shit because I have all kinds of Christmas words and puns and things that I'm really proud of for the songs that I did write for this album that I hope you enjoy. And by golly, by gosh, because there are a lot of sleigh bells, tubular bells, choirs, and even a dun 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 song. So that's all I got. I think it's time for us to part ways. Thank you for joining me. I certainly had fun. And I really do hope you guys enjoy this album. All jokes aside, an artist's work is never done. I listen to it and I'm like, oh man, there's so many things that I wish we could have accomplished, but we ran out of time, ran out of resources. But the things that are on there, I have to remind myself. I go, I'm really proud of the things that did make it to the album, and I'll be most proud when I get to see it be experienced by people outside of my own brain. when I can see and share my experience finally with all of you. So thank you, and hopefully we get to play these songs live, hopefully, and hopefully I get to see some of you out there. If we get to do that, fingers crossed. And I just want to say thank you for joining me. I know the holiday, it seems a bit early to start promoting holiday stuff, but this is how these things work. So please share the word, and if you like the songs, please tell your friends. And yeah, what can I say? Christmas is coming a little early this year. Mwah! Thank you so much, guys, and I hope to see you soon. Buy my shit!